Hello and welcome everybody to New Earth Consciousness. I am here with Amber Kelly, the Intuitive Witch. Her website is theintuitivewitch.ca. And we're going to dive into, well, her story, obviously, and also Body Talk, which is the modality that she's gonna do a live demonstration of. So, Amber, welcome and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Tanya. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah. Yeah. So share with us your story, how you found yourself working more in the unseen realms, I'll say, right, of energy.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, so my backstory is I wasn't into anything intuitive or alternative. Uh, I spent a lot of, I'd say, my time in my 20s, yeah, just very mainstream. Like I
Hmm.
was doctors and physiotherapists if I needed it. And I was in going to university and I was playing college volleyball and I ended up getting an injury working out. And that injury resulted in pain that I spent a year with a physiotherapist that didn't resolve. It resulted in going to the doctor. And they did an MRI to see if there's any tearing or reason why this wasn't healing. Like I'd been going for physiotherapy for a year, you would think that the pain would go away.
Hmm.
And there was no physical reason why there was
Oh,
pain.
yeah.
No tear. There's from like besides me like kind of hunching forward like this, there's no reason why that pain should be there. So basically after a year of physio, they said you're gonna have to live your life. And so they are a doctor and a physiotherapist. I believe they are experts, and they definitely are an experts in what they focus on, but they don't always have the whole picture. And so I left that experience believing that I was going to live the rest of my life with chronic shoulder pain.
Mhm.
And I was in my, yeah, early 20s at this point. So in theory, this is going to be a long, long life of chronic pain. But
Can I ask you, like, on a scale of 10, what was the level of pain that you were dealing with?
I would say like pretty consistently about a 5, but if I
Yeah.
tried to like lift my arm above my head, it would like sharp pain. And so
Okay.
it
Yeah.
restricted my movement. And then I couldn't sleep on the right side. It was my right shoulder. I couldn't sleep on the right side of my body. I always had to sleep on the left side. Sometimes it would spasm and
Yeah.
it was like consistently a 5, and then it would like fluctuate. So it was definitely like when you think about like consistent pain, how like heavy and how it takes away from your ability to enjoy your life.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
for
was
sure. Yeah,
I was living my
you kind of end up almost choosing to numb out that part,
right.
right? Like, it's always there, but then it's like, okay, well, if it's just going to be there for the rest of my life, I'll just kind of ignore it and it just
It's
kind of
just
lurks
it is.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like so many of us have those like little pains where it's like, oh, my heels bother me, but you know what? Like, I'll just live with it, or low back pain, or there's always a lot of times I feel like a lot of people we get that in our heads that we're just meant to live with it. And I definitely had that. Went about my life, finished university, got my first professional job, but the universe has got your back, I would say. It was during my Saturn return. So for people that aren't familiar with astrology, a Saturn return is basically where Saturn was when you were born, when it's moved through your natal chart all the way back to where it was when you were born is called your Saturn return. And so it happens usually when we're around like 28 to 30. So during my Saturn return, universe is like, no, girl, like this is not where you're meant to be. You're not meant, this is not going to be the rest of your life. And it started to drop little breadcrumbs called Body Talk. The first breadcrumb of Body Talk was a lady that I was working with at the time as an environmental scientist, and she was talking about how this Body Talk practitioner talked to her baby, and I was like, I don't know what she's talking about. So I'm just gonna move on because that's where I was at that point in my life, but also like curious. And then another girlfriend was talking about body talk, was offering body talk sessions. I finally cornered her and I was like, okay, what is this? And she explained it as like for her, she had a migraine that wouldn't go away for 3 months straight. She couldn't lay down, she couldn't sleep.
Mm.
And she went for a single body talk session. And in that session, she laid down for the first time in 3 months. And that night went home and slept for the first time in 3 months. And so I was like, okay, I'm curious if you think
Yeah.
it might help my shoulder.
Yeah.
So I went for my first body talk session, and in reality, it was so simple, but I think that's why it was so powerful. She felt into the energy in my shoulder, and the way she described it was that it's kind of like it stops communicating in our body, like it's about communication. And when it stops communicating, energy gets kind of like stuffed in there that feels like pain because
Hmm.
it's stuck. And it needs permission or it needs safety to finish its cycle and finish moving through your body. So she was able to give me that safety by using her intuitive gifts and explaining why it got stuck there in the first place. It was pressure I was putting on myself to just be perfect. It was like pressure to
Hmm.
be perfect.
Hmm.
And it was coming from my dad. Like I was pushing myself to be perfect for my dad, or it was an energy that came through my dad, which seemed at the time, I was like, no, my dad's not a perfectionist. That's my mom.
Mm.
But reflecting back now on my dad, he's his own perfectionist in a different way. So she acknowledged what was holding the energy there.
Hmm.
And it I went home and cried because for the first time in my life, someone saw me. And then 6 years of chronic shoulder pain was gone when I woke up. I could all of a sudden lift my arm above my head. I could lay on the right side of my body. I had no motion restrictions, and my mind was blown.
Yeah.
And so after that, I became pretty obsessed with the idea of body talk. Because to me, it basically gifted me freedom from pain, and also a freedom of feeling seen that I hadn't had probably in my entire life. And had me coming back sessions. Because the thing I love about body talk is like, you don't need to know why. I, as the practitioner, hold the space and read your energy and read your subconscious and channel the intuitive information that you need to hear. So you don't need to come in being like, well, I think my shoulder is not working because of X, Y, and Z. You get to come in and I get to say, oh, this is the energy. And I trust your body because, like, she didn't really do anything other than talk to me and tap. I trust your body knows how to move this energy if we make it feel safe to release and move through. And so for me, body talk has been such a beautiful gift to give other people, to hold space for other people in the fact that you don't need to come understanding what is holding you. The like
Yeah.
it can be a physical thing, but it can also be um like patterns, just like patterns that aren't working for you as well. They can be moved through the energy in your body. Like your body is kind of like I'm sure you believe this is like what's happening outside of us is a reflection of what's happening within us, and we're all connected to like the greater quantum field, the consciousness. And so when we can I focus where I do the work is in the body, but it can ripple through all aspects of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. And it's true. I think like we tend to we've been taught to believe that once something becomes chronic, that it's going to take years to undo.
Yeah.
I mean, the longer the injury or the longer the issue, whether it's emotional or physical or spiritual, like it's going to take at least as long to um, undo. But I think more and more as we're like expanding, right? Like we're expanding in our awareness of who we actually are and what the truth of reality actually is, right? As especially in these times as people are waking up, it's like, oh, actually healing can happen in an instant, like you said, just overnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it doesn't, and it's, yeah, and your mind can be blown. It's like, um, and it feels that way. It's like this idea of miracles. I feel like that like a miracle can only happen to the select few,
Mm,
right? Like there's I mean at least I have felt that way when someone speaks of miracles like, oh, it must be just the rare individual that somehow has earned God's grace, or it only happens to the select few, when actually it's like once we that they I yeah, like a miracle, the only reason we call it that is because it's like this quantum leap. It's a quantum leap in
with that. Yeah.
reality, like in under like you know what I mean? It's like we step into that liminal space of the in between that's unseen, and
Yeah.
something happens there, right? Yeah, so interesting.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like in that session, it allowed me to go back to the quantum field where that like projection of like chronic shoulder pain was being held. And it's like, no, actually, we're just gonna just smooth that right out. And we're just gonna, it doesn't exist anymore. She doesn't need to hold this anymore.
Yeah. Can I ask you, like, so letting go, even though, okay, that was a physical thing, and for yourself, those 6 years you thought, oh, well, this was a volleyball injury, like very physical, but there
Yeah.
was the emotional component to it. Once that released, what else did you notice besides the pain just going away? Did you notice other shifts kind of showing up in your life? Like, did your outer reality begin to change?
Yeah, I would say it like oh, I'm getting chills with that. A lot of things changed. The it was so pieces were subtle, but it was a slow progression of like because I was, as I said, like felt what I'm going to call mainstream. I'm like, you listen to the professionals, you listen to the doctors, they know what's going on, they have the answers. If they tell you something, that is like that is your Bible of truth, and you live with that now.
Mhm.
And it and I didn't even think I was intuitive. Like when I went for the session, I would have said, I'm not intuitive. I think she's reading my mind. I don't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
But like the first subtle shift was just like the calm in my body I would have between sessions. So I would go about 4 weeks between sessions, and my body would feel so much calmer
Mhm.
for about those 4 weeks. And then as I like kind of within, and now I'm like also looking back, I'm like, was it my cycle? I don't know. But as about
Uh-huh.
every 4 weeks, I would hit this point where I could feel this like vibration coming back. And I feel like it was like another like wave of energy ready to move through me, but I didn't know how to let it move through me. So I would go for another body talk session. She would see me again. I like it became my thing, and I would just cry so much tears because I was finally feeling seen.
Mhm.
And it would create safety. Feeling seen is a really big way for people to feel safe. And then because at the end of the day, I believe the energy gets stuck in our body because we don't feel safe. And
Yeah.
so if it create that safety, and I find feeling seen through my intuitive tools allows people to feel safe. And then the energy can finish moving through your body. And then it creates so much ease and possibility. And basically, it moved me from where I was, which was 9 to 5 corporate job that was already not feeling super aligning, but like that was what I went to school for. So that was where I was going to stay. And the arc of consistently using this tool and coming back to it is that it arced me into okay, now I'm leaving my 9 to 5. Now I'm stepping into this business
Mhm.
of supporting people with body talk, like even this, like podcasting, talking to someone, like if you had told me that I'm going to enjoy talking about this stuff, I would have been like, no, that's not me. I'm an introvert. Like, I don't do this. Like, no, no, thank you. I don't want to talk on stages. I don't want to talk to people
Yeah.
like this. But there was like this progression and like ability to, I feel like with body talk, one of the things I really love is that it allows you to face that fear to help you step into what feels so aligning for you. Because, like, looking at my human design and my astrology, like, there's so many pieces of like, use your voice and speak and talk.
Mm.
And it feels really good. Also makes me nervous, but it feels really good to share. And I never in a million years, if I wasn't taking these, like integrating body talk, integrating intuitive stuff in my life, I don't think I would have ever been there. I think I would have been medicated and stressed,
Yeah.
shoulder pain, in my corporate job, so angry,
Yeah.
hating my life, probably 50 pounds heavier because
Right.
I feel like we gain weight as we're unhappy
Yeah.
and stressed and not being a being what is it? Not being authentically ourselves, not allowing ourselves to be our authentic self. Like that person that I was me and served me, but then it didn't. And then I've had to take the scary steps of stepping off the tracks. Like I feel like I was on two, like there are two tracks. Like I was on the like mainstream track, and now I've jumped over to like, no, we're not doing anything mainstream anymore. And I'm sure there'll be a swing and we'll come back to maybe like a somewhere in the middle, but I had to jump the tracks
Yeah.
to feel more authentically myself. And even the more authentically as I step into this, I am losing weight. I continue to lose weight the more I allow myself to be my authentic self,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
is just, yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
really jumped off the bandwagon there and went on a tangent
It,
with
well, it's true though. I was just having this conversation with somebody recently about whenever we're out of alignment and there I feel like, there's the soul and then there's the maybe the egoic thinking mind. And I notice that whenever I am out of alignment, like I might have an idea and be like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do. There's so many times where I've been like, oh yeah, this is for me. This is what I'm going to do. This is the ticket. Like, because in the conscious brain, I'm like, yeah, this is it. And then I get into it. And then over time, I'm like, my body starts having issues.
Mm,
So for me, I know everybody's wired differently, but for myself, I know like I'm out of alignment with my true purpose when symptoms start to show up, whether that's like digestive issues or fatigue or um, just or depression. It's like, oh, I thought this was the route, and now I'm clearly getting the signal that somehow I've gotten off track. Okay, how do I get back on track? And I think it's true. Like it's always about coming back. I don't think there's anything wrong in trying different things because you're curious or you're like, oh, let's try this out. For me, I mean, if we're going to talk about human design, right? Like for me I think I'm a splenic projector and I learn through mistakes. So I have to make the mistake to make the course correction and to learn more about who I am, right? Apparently, like I don't know that much about human design, but when I heard that, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Like I make the mistakes, I extract the wisdom, get back on track, go the next step further.
yeah.
Course correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that. Yeah, you must have a lot of threes or something, some three
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
That's the
I
energy
think it
of,
is. I think it's like a 3-5 or something.
okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, totally. Ooh, and that's such a nice blend. It's like three is you make the mistakes, and then five is more of an energy of like, I'm going to deep dive into this and I'm going to be able to turn around and teach you
Yeah.
about why this matters and why this doesn't. And you kind of like can help people see. And as a projector too, that is like your gift is being able to see in other people what would be supportive for them. Like you're able to see it within. everyone. So you're a really like, yeah, a really good coach or supporter for someone with that projector energy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
So anyways, it's super interesting. So yeah, the body, I mean, uh it's yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
mean we're
with your body, I'd be so curious sometimes to like question, is it resist like I'm gonna muddy the water for you. Is it resistance or is it lack of alignment? Because sometimes
true. Yeah.
there is like a piece like upset stomach, like you're like, oh my God, like I feel like so gross about this. But is that because it's out of alignment, or is that because there's so much fear because you're stepping into something that is such a stretch for what your mind is used to? So,
Exactly. I
but
know. It's tough. You're right. I've had that question too. It's tough to discern. It's like, yeah, what am I resisting? Because
mhm,
yeah, that subconscious, right, wants to protect us and keep us in our comfort zone. So yeah, it's difficult to discern, to know
mhm.
what the
Yeah,
difference is.
I love just like getting curious. And like I'm
Yeah.
sure for you, the more you sat with it, it was just like because once you're if you can settle the like the energy in your body and connect to your intuition, it always becomes clear. Like with body talk, there was totally resistance to me pursuing it, but the desire and the like intuitive nudges just kept coming back to me. Like I would
Mm.
push it totally down. Like there was a multiple times where I took a sabbatical, or there's one time I even like totally closed my business doors. In 2023, I closed my business doors. My intuition had suggested I do that because I had stayed in my 9 to 5 too long. I was navigating burnout and just stuff at home needed more of my attention. So I closed my doors completely and sat empty for 8 months. And then it came back around. It was during eclipse season, and I did a couple body talk sessions for some ladies at a retreat, and they were just like, "Why aren't you doing this?" And I was like, I feel scared." And they're like, "Amber, like, why aren't you doing this? This is magic." And I was like, "Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Maybe I could, maybe I should. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay." I
Yeah.
and my intuition had said before about a month before that I was going to get clarity on where I was meant to like put my energy into. And then the retreat
Yeah.
happened and they were just all like body talk, body talk, body talk. And I was
Yeah.
like, I
Sometimes it's a timing piece, isn't it? I mean, if we feel like, okay, we have to take a moment to step away from something for whatever reason,
mm-hmm.
and then it's like, I mean, I feel like creativity moves in cycles, you know?
Oh, yeah.
It's a spiral, right? And so it might seem like, oh, I'm abandoning something and I'm going backwards, but because of that spiral, it might feel like you're going backwards, but you're just like you're recalibrating and then, you know, coming out and with greater clarity and awareness. So it's always moving through those things. And so I feel like, the old paradigm has been so much about hustle, straight line, like, just get there no matter what it takes, like very, like an arrow. And it's like, and especially as women, we're all about the cycles. We're all about cyclical energy. And so to think that we have to approach success or our purpose with, you know, um, a different type of energy, I feel like that's when the burnout comes. So yeah, yeah. So trusting those cycles of rest and then moving forward. Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
are we gonna,
yeah,
yeah.
should we step into a demo? Yeah, I'm all for it.
Okay. Well, this would be like, I'm going to call this very similar to my free 20-minute clarity session, which is like basically it's body talk, but like in a full hour with me, I'm going to get you into your body deeply and we spend a full hour. So this is going to be like more like my free like clarity sessions where we're still going to get into your body, but it's just going to be a little lighter.
Got it.
All right. So I'm going to actually invite you to close your eyes. And I'm going to invite you to just scan your body and just noticing if there's any areas of your body where you feel any sensation. It might be an itch, it might be cold hands, it could be an ache, but just noticing even a tingle, just a part of your body that seems to kind of be whispering to you.
Okay.
And once you find that, describe where it is and how it feels.
I feel it like right in where my sternum is, and there seems to be like to me it just feels like a almost like a contractive energy.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, sternum, contractive energy. If you were to give it an intensity out of 10, 10 being it's all consuming and one being it's like a whisper into your body, what would you give it?
Mm. A 5.
Ooh, good job. Okay, a 5. Contraction, sternum. Okay, so I'm going to get you to breathe into that energy. This is a pocket of energy that your body is looking to move today. And your job is to witness it and to be curious and to love it and trust that just like your hand knows how to heal a cut, just how our bodies know how to grow babies, our bodies breathe without us having to consciously know how to make that happen. Your body knows how to move this energy and simply needs curiosity and safety and permission. So breathing into that sensation in the sternum. And so what I'm noticing as I'm checking in with that energy, checking in with you, is it's a real contraction, restriction in taking a step forward, but from more of a logical sense. Like there is a real heaviness that I'm noticing as I'm feeling into your energy. It's so interesting because it's more about the feminine energy with a lot of people I work with, but right now there's a lot of heaviness with that like masculine energy, that logical next step. And it's having to do with the next step. It's like it's almost like it's frozen. It feels so contracted, so restricted. And then even the fact that you're talking about sternum area, like we can be moving into like sacral or heart chakra. And there's this overthinking piece that's also coming through. It's again, there's a real heaviness to it. And there's this need to like hold on really tightly. Like you're gripping onto something that you don't feel safe to let go of. Yeah, it's like your your thinking is blocking your ability for your creative self to come through with solutions for this step moving forward that's feeling like it has to be, and maybe not that it has to be logical, but it feels like it's a very logical step. And because it's so logical, it actually doesn't feel good for you. And it's, you're really gripping, holding on to it's holding on to this like need for giving, maybe giving in a certain way. Maybe it's a way that you've done it before and it wasn't balanced in the past, is what it's feeling like. Like you maybe did this logical step forward before and it or something similar. And it really put your system out of balance. And so now there's this fear and this holding on to. It's like not letting the energy finish its cycle and move through you because you're just like, I'm too, like the energy with it is fear. I'm actually, yeah, that's so funny because most people I'm like, we're struggling with like something that isn't logical, but for you, you're struggling with something that actually feels pretty logical. And so for you, you're like, but that hasn't, oh, it's almost like that pendulum swing because when we like yin and yang, masculine, feminine, there's meant to be that balance. And so it feels like there's a fear to step back more into that masculine energy of a little bit more structure because it put you in this place where it took you out of balance and put you in a much more overgiving and responsibility energy. And we're going to move this energy today because it's going to allow you to step into take that logical step and but come at it with a different energy. We're not going to take in the energy of like what happened in the past. And maybe it's not even in this lifetime, but there's definitely a past experience where something was very logical and it put you in this place of responsibility and overgiving. And so right now you're really scared to let this energy flow, let it go. And there's like a thinking of like trying to figure out how to make this work without without taking the logical step. So I'm going to get you to breathe back into your body and notice that sensation in the sternum that was around a 5 and was feeling like a contraction. Is it still feeling like a 5 or has it increased or decreased?
Um, well, as I've really just staying focused on that area,
Mm-hmm.
um, I actually feel really expanded, or I mean, I hope I'm not dissociating. I don't know, but it feels, um, staying with it, there's this huge empty space. It does feel like it's just starting to expand.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah,
Is it expanding like in your chest or is it expanding into like the cosmos? Where does it feel like it's expanding into?
like all
Ooh,
here.
yeah. Okay, really beautiful. So breathing into that expanded sensation, that expanded feeling, does it still feel like a 5 or has,
No, it's gone down. There's a little more space in there.
yeah,
Um, yeah, it's definitely moving.
ooh, I love that. Does
Hmm.
it have a color as you're witnessing it?
I want to say green
Ooh,
with some gold.
mm-hmm. Ooh, I love that. And it's expanding and the sensation is reducing as it feels like it's expanding outward. You're doing a beautiful job. Just keep witnessing it, staying curious. Just watching the energy move in your body is so powerful. And bringing breath to it. and allowing it to finish its cycle. Like this energy is going to move through your body and is being expanded into the area around you. And then as it finishes its cycle, it's going to move back into Mother Earth. It's going to move back into the quantum field of possibility. This energy gets to finish its cycle. This heart energy. This solar plex energy. Ooh. Allowing your body to completely receive this energy, allowing it to finish its cycle. Ooh. As you check in with it now, what is the sensation feeling like? Has it expanded more or has it come back in?
Yeah, it's definitely in the body. There's this yeah, just this settled feeling.
Ooh, I love that.
Mhm.
Mhm. Well, I think and what would you give that intensity of that settled feeling? Or is it
A
just
six.
feels a
Yeah,
6?
six.
Ooh, I love that. Well, I'm gonna leave you with that energy, that 6 energy, that settled energy in your body. And we're going to allow that energy to continue and trust we've got it moving now. Your body's gonna be able to finish integrating it however it feels good, and then let it flow through you back to Mother Earth to be alchemized. Once you've got to soak up all this grounded goodness. And so I'm going to invite you now to come back more to this reality by wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes. Maybe if it feels good, you put your arms overhead. Yeah. Then slowly opening your eyes and coming back to the room.
Yeah, that felt really peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes. If you get nothing else from a Pi Talk session, you will leave feeling so much more embodied and grounded.
yeah.
And then, or you can have as we call them, miracles, and your shoulder pain could be gone in a single session.
Right, right. Yeah. Tomorrow I'll wake up and it'll be like, oh, that's gone or whatever. Yeah. That was really, yeah, that was fantastic. I mean, really going into the pain and or you know, or the contraction or whatever it is and just being with it.
Mhm.
Um, and not trying to do anything with it, right? Like that's kind of like and then it just started like I just felt like I just kind of started to dissolve into this sort of space of nothingness or fullness or whatever, you know, it's kind of just endless space is kind of what it felt like. As
Oh,
it just kind of like being in a bubble or something. Yeah, that's what it felt like.
you did
Yeah,
so good. You're good at
yeah,
this.
yeah, it feels more open for sure as I'm talking to you now. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's I had someone say once, like the simplicity of what I offer is like the power. And I really, yeah, it seems so simple, yet so powerful. Just the simple act of just listening to your sensations in your body. And that's something, if any of the listeners, I have like a about a 15-minute sensations meditation I could send them if they were curious to just do this portion on their own. Or there is the 20-minute clarity session. Right now I'm offering them for free if people wanted to see how it feels for them.
Mhm. Yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. So yeah, please take Amber up on that offer to everyone that's listening. Is there anything else you want to add?
Just if you want to find me, I'm at theintuitivewitch.ca. And I do have a podcast, The Woo with Amber as well. And those are basically the best two ways to find me. I actually, a while back, got off social media and it's felt a lot better for me. So basically, if you want to be in my ecosystem, it's my podcast or joining my newsletter. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you so much, Amber. Thank you for that little mini session. That was fantastic. Yeah, good work. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your gifts.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciated talking to you. You bring such a wonderful energy. So I'm grateful to have this conversation with you today. And yeah, I can't wait to maybe have you on my podcast and
Yeah.
share there. So yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Much love, everybody. Please like, share, subscribe, and see you next time. All right. Bye, everybody.